Hello everybody and welcome to the Brotherhood Arcade. Today we are taking you on a little journey through CD Projekt Red's Night City. We're going to be talking about the top 10 things to love about Cyberpunk 2077. It's no secret that this game has been a bit of a mess here at launch. Broken game mechanics, bugs, broken promises by CD Projekt Red, and just weirdness happening all the time while you're playing this game. But nevertheless, we here at the Brotherhood Arcade have enjoyed our time in Night City immensely. Cyberpunk 2077 keeps pulling us back to it over and over again. We just can't seem to get enough of it. So there's been a lot of talk about the negatives of this game, but we wanted to take a second and talk about some of the positives, starting with number 10. There's a ton of things to do in Night City. I'm 40 hours in, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. I just did my first street fight and race, but I've done tons of assaults in progress, gigs, hustles, side quests, random encounters. If you open the map at any point in this game, your eyes are virtually assaulted with icons telling you stuff that you can do. It's absolutely insane. But the city is so big that you can also just have a good time exploring around. I found this guitar shop a couple days ago. There didn't really seem to be anything I could do in here, at least at this point. Maybe there's some kind of quest that I just haven't unlocked yet, but it was really detailed. You could talk to the owner and buy a guitar, which was cool, but the guitars are listed as junk, which was less cool, and not very cyberpunk in my opinion. But if for some reason you feel like Night City's too small for you, the Badlands are huge, and I've had a ton of fun rolling around, snapping pictures of things, and just using the surprisingly robust photo mode to catch some cool snapshots. It's been a lot of fun. Of course, the combat for me is actually pretty entertaining. I know there's some problems, people have complained that it's floaty and things like that. I am doing like a stealth sniper build, so for me, it's working out okay. Your mileage may vary depending on your build. Number 9. Details. Night City is jam-packed with detail. In this world run by corporations, it feels like every inch of space available is taken up by advertisements. And since these advertisements aren't for real products, they're often humorous and entertaining rather than annoying. Even the loading screens are packed with detail and will change depending on where you're at in the story, serving as a recap to help you get immersed in the game. It's a nice touch. If you haven't done it yet, I suggest you go to V's apartment, turn on the TV, and flip through the channels. CD Projekt Red has really outdone themselves here. There's a ton of content here to watch, and it actually changes depending on where you're at in the game. For example, I learned about the relic before that happened when I sat down in my apartment and watched some of the stuff that was going on the TV. My favorite channel is Just Ads, which, as it sounds like, is just ads. But again, since they're not real products, it's hilarious to watch. These details show the player that the world of Night City is very corrupt and unsafe. You can even buy a disposable gun at a vending machine, pull the tab, and start opening fire. The world of Cyberpunk 2077 is one ruled by gangs, corporations, and violence. And all the details in this game serve to remind you of that and immerse you further in Night City. Number 8. Atmosphere. All of these minute details that CD Projekt Red put into this game combine together to create a cyberpunk atmosphere that is absolutely unparalleled in video games. In many ways, Cyberpunk 2077 is more of a love letter to the cyberpunk genre than it is a reinvention of it. But for those of us who have enjoyed the cyberpunk genre for years, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. This game does a good job of putting you in the perspective of Rick Deckard from Blade Runner, or Henry Case from Neuromancer. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and check out the 1982 classic Blade Runner movie, or dive into William Gibson's cyberpunk classic Neuromancer. These works are pinnacles of the cyberpunk genre, and this game feels right at home standing on their shoulders. Retro-futuristic technology, grungy post-apocalyptic vibe, powerful corporations that practically rule the world. These are staples of the genre, and Cyberpunk 2077 has them all. Number 7. Approaches to combat. This game has a lot of different weapons and a lot of different ways that you can approach every single scenario. My character is more of like a hacker stealth kind of build, and so I like to distract some enemies, maybe shut some down, and then ping them so that I know exactly where they're at, and then I go in stealth with my handgun and take people out before they ever know I'm there. But that's just one way that you can do this. As you saw, you can run in with a shotgun and just full-on assault them. You can attack them with your gorilla fists. I like to jump up on top of things, sneak around them, and then beat the shit out of them with my fists sometimes, or my mantis blades. They're pretty OP, but it's a lot of fun. You can pull out your smart pistol, and the bullets will seek right to them. You can try this, but my body is not high enough because of the build, so I can't control this gun at all. Or you can throw caution to the wind and just start going for headshots. My build is specialized for headshots, so I've started to deal enormous amounts of damage on critical hits. There's so many different ways you can customize your character in this game, so many different perk points and attributes that you can upgrade, and they're fairly easy to come by. Just by playing the game, you're going to level up, and you're going to become pretty specialized if you want to. The way this system works, whatever approach you take becomes your specialty, which means you are rewarded for playing the game the way you want to. Number 6. Animations. Now when I say animations, I don't mean this, or this. I'm talking about the main character animations. These things were captured in high fidelity, man, and watching their faces, watching their body movements, makes me feel like I'm actually there. It is extremely immersive, and some of my favorite moments in this game are these moments right here. Especially the ones where you're with Panam. You know what I mean? Number 5. Weapons. It feels like Cyberpunk 2077 has an endless amount of weapons. There are 9 different ranged weapon types. There's pistols, revolvers, assault rifles, submachine guns, light machine guns, heavy machine guns, shotguns, precision rifles, and sniper rifles, and each one of those comes in 3 different varieties: power, tech, and smart. Then there are 7 different melee weapons: 2-handed clubs, hammers, long blades, one-handed clubs, katanas, and knives. And each one of these is shoved into a Borderlands-esque RNG system, which upscales the amount of damage that weapons can do as you play the game and increase your own levels. It means that no matter what, you're going to be finding new weapons, and they're going to be very useful. It is a little bit disappointing when your favorite weapons become obsolete because you're finding so many different weapons, and the upgrade system is a little bit broken. I'll be the first to admit that. Nevertheless, there's plenty of variety here, and it'll keep you finding new stuff throughout your entire playthrough. Number 4. Riding.
I drove down I-80 the other day. All you have to do is pull over after sundown. It's quiet then, and you hear it.
What's that?
The wind whistling through boarded-up windows. Tumbleweeds scratching across dry, sandy tracks. That's how towns die. Not with a bang, but with whispers and whimpers.
I'm a big fan of the writing in this game. Some people have accused some of the dialogue of being a little campy, but from what I've seen, the vernacular here jives really well with other cyberpunk-themed universes. And I kind of found myself using some of the vernacular when talking outside of the game, like corpos is particularly useful, especially since CD Projekt Red has kind of gone the route of Anakin Skywalker and become the very thing they were trying to destroy. Now, I do have a tendency to sort of get sucked into the universes that I'm exploring, but I found myself zipping my brothers the deets and talking about people being gonks and things like that. It's silly, but I love it.
Conflict. Corps always win. Ordinary people always lose.
Number 4. Acting.
Yeah, this would make for a decent little motel, wouldn't it? A fireplace, booze.
All too often in video games, decent writing is marred by terrible acting, but Cyberpunk 2077 has both good writing and good voice actors, which is an incredibly immersive combination.
What do you want to talk about?
I know this may sound foolish, because I asked you to help me. But why are you doing this?
Number 3. Characters. Panam,
I'm on autopilot.
Judy, Saul, Johnny Silverhand. This game has a ton of memorable characters, and the acting, writing, motion capture, and attention to detail all combine to make them feel like believable characters that you want to spend time with. Number 2. World building. Thanks to everything we've discussed so far, the things to do, details, atmosphere, weapons, animations, writing, acting, characters, the world of Cyberpunk 2077 feels like a real place. I didn't even realize until making this video that you could access your journal, read all of those shards you picked up, you can go into a database and read more about the cars that are in the world, the characters that you encounter, and just about anything else you can think of. Now, again, I'll admit that the presentation is a bit lacking here. Who wants to sit down in front of their console or computer and open this stuff and read it? I certainly don't. I didn't even know it existed until I started making this video, but knowing that it's there makes the world feel deeper and more rich to me. And I am excited to take a look at it at some point. You know, when I've run out of other things to do. Number 1. Storytelling. For number 1, we're keeping it simple. All of the elements we've discussed so far combine together to tell innumerable stories, and you as a character are invited to participate and tell your own story. Who is V? What choices does he or she make? And how will those choices change Night City? Despite its flaws, Cyberpunk 2077 is an incredible game, and we can't wait to hear about some of your stories and share some more of ours with you. Thank you for tuning in to the Brotherhood Arcade. We'll catch you later.